on, guys, and welcome to another episode of the 5-1 Formation podcast. We're all here. Episode 33 is on your way. Big news. We're going to get right into it. Big news. For the first time in its history, the Ballon d'Or will not be handed to the best player in the world.
I think it's sad but justified, just because not everyone had a fair shot of getting the trophy.
Yeah.
Because of cancelled seasons, such as France,
the Dutch League. You know, even though they pretty much have only awarded it to La Liga players, or that's basically it. La Liga players for the past 11 years.
Yeah, with Ronaldo, Messi, and then Modric.
Yeah.
But still, listen, like I said, I think it's justified. I think they have a reason for it, a very good reason with the whole pandemic. And honestly, I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah. I just find it crazy because I thought this year would be the first year someone out of the Liga would have won it. I thought Lewandowski had the biggest chance of winning it, especially if they win Champions League.
Definitely.
So it gives him now a thing like, oh, fuck, I just had a killer season. We just won the DFB Cup, we won the league, and now we have a strong chance of winning Champions League.
Yeah, they're on their way to win the treble.
And it would have been the first time, like I just said, out of a La Liga league, he would have won it. It would have been massive for him for his career.
And it's his best season yet.
Best season.
Like statistically,
yes.
For a striker, I think it's his most goals he's ever scored.
Over 50 goals.
Yeah, which is
in all comps. Yeah,
in all comps. Over 50
That's
goals in all
crazy,
comps.
Man.
Plus, they've won already 2 out of 3 potential trophies this year. So,
especially if he's won the treble, massive.
I think it makes sense because there was always going to be that asterisk on the Ballon d'Or winner because of what happened with the coronavirus and the pandemic. But I think it, like Antonio said, it's justified. There's a good reason, and I think it's best that they went with that option.
Like I said, it sucks because I think you have a point, Tom. Like Lewandowski was definitely one of the bigger front runners for the trophy. So just sucks to see, but like I said, makes sense.
Yeah, and it's kind of good that they announced it now and not like when.
Exactly, and not closer to the date.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or like even beforehand, like now that almost all of the leagues are coming to an end in their season. Because like imagine like halfway through the season, they say, okay, no Ballon d'Or. Like what does that mean for like players like Robert Lewandowski? Would he fallen off, or Messi, or Ramos, or whatever? I'm just like naming off.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. Like, do you think it removes that extra incentive to play to the top of your game, or do you think players like Robert, Cristiano, Lionel, they don't even think about that stuff and they're really team players? What do you guys think about that?
Well, that's why I wanted to bring up too. It's a good point to add on to my point that I want to make. I think it's unfair, and I think they shouldn't have done that, to be honest with you. Because the season is going on, trophies are being awarded either way. So what does an individual player trophy have to do with coronavirus? Granted, Liga decided on their own to cancel their season.
That's facts.
That's their decision.
Yeah.
If they don't want to take part in it, but if they had a remarkable enough season, and let's say PSG do manage to win CL, Mbappe or Neymar could have been contenders too.
Because realistically, top 10 nominees, Mbappe and Neymar might be in that top 10.
Right? So, I don't find
especially
it fair.
if they go far in CL.
But there were still remaining games left in Liga, like a lot of remaining games left. Which is why because they canceled those and they weren't able to up their stat game, that's where I think they kind of made that point.
Granted, 100% it's the most
fair.
Looking at it, it's fair, but I still don't agree with it just because
1 out of the 5 canceled their season.
It's their decision. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the other players, they work their asses off. I mean, they say that they don't care about individual stats or trophy, but they do.
Deep down, they do. They just say to the media.
And I think some of them will
for sure
get. I don't want to say maybe demotivated, but just like
there's not that extra
push that fucking I can potentially win this trophy, which is
it's the best player. It's the
best player in the world.
It's the best trophy you can get as an individual in a group sport. Kind of thing.
But before we leave the subject, I just want to say that if Ligue 1 didn't cancel their season and they did like the rest of the leagues, the other 4 top 5 European leagues, I don't think we would ever be talking about this Ballon d'Or cancellation.
No, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
Real quick, based on all the performances that you see, who do you give Ballon d'Or?
Right now?
I mean, I don't want to say his name, but I mean it's probably going to be Ramos because of whatever. Yeah.
You have my vote. This be Lewandowski.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Messi.
No, but say his stats. Why? Crazy. Over 20 goals and over 20 assists. Insane.
Pichichi winner again. Assist winner, even if there isn't a trophy.
But it's tough. Just before Anthony answered, it's tough to answer that question without seeing Champions League though.
I'm just saying from now, just like
a spitball. Yeah.
Okay.
You?
It's tough. I mean, it's tied between the two, between Ramos or Lewandowski. I wouldn't be able to choose just because of
the Champions League question.
Win. Yeah, exactly. And also, did they win a Copa del Rey?
Who?
Madrid.
It's TBD right now.
It's to be determined.
Oh yeah.
They're not even in the final. They lost
even
against Sociedad, and Barcelona lost against Bilbao. So it's Bilbao, Sociedad in the final, and there's no official date.
Give the edge to
Robert. Yeah, just for that, but not by much. Yeah, not by much.
Okay.
Just because he's a center back and that's what he's doing is incredible.
George?
I think I'm gonna give it to Ramos just because of like
the team.
The team, but also the fact that they were under Barcelona for like the first half of the season, and then he himself turned it up. He was scoring like almost every game, which is like kind of nuts for center back, even though they had help with VAR and whatever. But I'm not gonna get into that. Yeah. That's another story. And the fact that he's been in a team for so long, and he was like obviously shadowed by Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah. I think he's like their best player after Cristiano.
You can also make the thing for Lewandowski, not only his accomplishments, but the team at one point was 5th. They went through a coaching change, and he was 4 goals behind Warner at one point.
True.
And now he's skyrocketing by he's up by 7.
And they got 2 titles now. So yeah, both.
But it would have been either or. I'm not saying one or the other. I
think it would have been from now it would have been either Ramos or Lewandowski.
There's one thing I want to say before we just move very quickly. And I just thought of it. I'd rather see them cancel the award show than Robert getting robbed.
Facts.
Oh shit! You know what?
Because imagine after everything the way you guys are saying it, it's starting to make sense how Lewandowski should actually win it this year.
Yeah.
And if we were to go through all of this, they win Champions League and somehow
and then
he still doesn't get it. You know what I mean?
And then Perez sends a little envelope, bro, and then that's it, man.
You know that would actually hurt a lot for him.
It probably would happen though.
And it's happened before, but anyways.
I don't want to get into it, but So speaking of Robert Lewandowski and the Bundesliga, not much news. Obviously, season's over. The only thing that we can talk about is fucking Bayern Munich getting back into Champions League. But big news coming from Dortmund. They signed a 17-year-old player, Jude Bellingham, from Birmingham City for a fee of 25 million euros. Dortmund doing their thing again, just stealing English youth. And honestly, like I'm sure nobody's heard of him. I was just watching like a compilation of him. I mean, does it look crazy? Wow. 17, yeah. But exactly. So I think what's going to happen is he's going to be a bench player, obviously, because Dortmund's strikers and
they're stacked.
Attacking options
are stacked. Thank you. So he's going to be a good bench player. He's going to come on like against like the lower half teams maybe.
Yep.
Or if somebody picks up an injury, he can come into the first team right away. Mm-hmm. I say give him 2 years, 19, 20 years old maybe. His career is going to explode. That's if the potential goes up, he stays healthy, and everything goes good for him. I think.
And if there's space available in the squad, obviously, depending on what happens with Sancho and whatnot.
It's only a matter of time until Sancho gets
this summer, next summer, one of those two, it's happening.
Every year since he fucking joined.
Yep.
You know what's pissing me off about Dortmund is that the past 2 transfer windows, they're going after forwards and wingers and all that. Meanwhile, they're garbage. The defensemen are garbage. Why are they always going after up top when they know they score 7 but concede 6?
Garbage is a strong word to use against their defenders. I think they struggle a bit. It's called them garbage. Arsenal's defense is garbage.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Not as of recent.
Okay.
But anyways, we'll get into that after.
But
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like they just lost Hakimi now, and they go out and get a young forward. Now start looking at defensemen.
They got Meunier. Let's not forget about him, right? Thomas Meunier from PSG.
Yeah.
But I could understand what you're saying.
That's what I meant.
Maybe
splash cash on defense, which they never do ever.
Yeah, but don't forget though, the transfer window is it's 3 months now versus where it used to be a month because of what happened. So they have more time to fix their squad before next season.
I'm just hoping they do buff up their defense, because if they do,
They will.
forwards they could score all kinds, but they need to defend a lot, which they have been lacking in.
Yeah, improve on the depth.
Yeah, I could agree. Good point.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about Dortmund.
That's all right. So, like you mentioned, Thomas Meunier, who recently just signed for Dortmund, coming from PSG. So, apparently, he is angry with the PSG owner or something along the lines of that. Because what happened with him was he was his contract was ending in July, right?
Mm-hmm.
He asked for a contract extension until August just to finish the season, just to finish Champions League because they were still in it or whatever. And they said no. So he's like, okay, screw it, I'm just going to leave, whatever. So Dortmund picked him up for free. He asked Dortmund if he could play Champions League. They said fine. But now PSG is kind of doing him dirty. And now he's not able to play Champions League football, which kind of sucks.
Wow, man.
Yeah. So that's like the only news.
I find that funny on PSG side to not accept him back.
I don't know what it is.
Like it's an extra quality player. Like he's good. I don't know if he's great, and that's an argument. But
he's also he's a bit older too, and I'm sure
an extra body in the squad depth would help your run if you were to go through the next round. You know what I mean? So I feel like, anyways, it was probably just like there was bad blood, I guess, something there, and then that's it.
I don't know, but like if you're looking at the PSG side, you're saving a month of salary or 2 months or whatever it is, and then you can just use someone who you're already paying.
I'm pretty sure.
I know. Okay, PSG are like a big club. Times are tough now with the coronavirus financially and whatnot, but
Even the bigger clubs got to look over their numbers, man.
Yeah.
Especially during these tough times.
How big was his contract? Like, was
I
it
don't
a
know.
big chunk for it to hurt? But
that I don't know.
It's still 100,
It's still
100
100.
thousand per week.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, so
You're hitting 6 figures per week.
So bad for him.
So PSG keeping in form now. This is like their second friendly that they played. They played some Belgium team, but it doesn't really matter because they just absolutely smoked them 7-0. Starting lineup including Neymar, Icardi, like just
They're having fun right now. That's what it is.
Mbappe, and they're just I guess they're just trying to keep in shape for.
That's what it is. More than anything.
For PSG fans, that's nice to see that like they're putting it in the back of the net, because you've seen a couple of times where during preseason massive clubs play against smaller clubs and they struggle to put him in back of the net. So this is a good sign for PSG and their fans for sure.
For sure. Their next game that they're playing against Celtic.
I think
Celtic,
I think PSG are really motivated for the Champions League. They saw their side of the bracket, like we mentioned last episode, and
It's now or never, basically.
they have saliva coming out of their mouths, man.
Yeah,
for
especially
sure.
that you haven't played like competitive football in like months.
They're itching for it. Itching.
It's gonna be
They
interesting.
have the whole world doubting them year after year, so that's a motivation.
Yeah, gonna be interesting. All right, Premier League guys, the race for top 4 and European that final
Top 6.
Well, top 6 for
Yeah.
then the final European spot of Europa League
Mhm.
still up for grabs. Your team
Yes.
finally.
Yeah.
I mean, not finally, but also Leicester just looking shit.
Mhm.
After I'm sorry. There's no other way of fucking putting
Yeah,
it.
that back four is really sketch,
It
man.
was sad.
That was the first time I had seen the new back four that they had, because I haven't really watched them this season. I
Yeah.
watched a couple of games early on before the whole pandemic.
Yeah.
But this was my first time seeing Leicester with that new back four that Rodgers had put there, and those two young guys are just made all kinds of mistakes throughout the whole game, just gifting Tottenham chances, and they made the most of them.
Mhm.
And I don't know, that was rough.
In Tottenham's perspective, I know that last episode we mentioned that maybe Mourinho's tactics were a bit outdated,
Mhm.
but in this case,
It worked.
it worked, and it worked very well.
Yeah.
Harry Kane getting a brace, team like looking super good on the counter, you know, defending deep,
Mhm.
and then just catching them on the counter, and it just like,
Finishing our chances finally. Harry came back in form.
yeah,
Because at the start of the restart, he was not in form. Now he's now he's finally finding his stride. And for me, the biggest praise has to go to apart from Hugo Lloris, which was an absolute wall, is for Aurier. His brother dies beginning of the week, and he plays 2 games back to back and puts on a great performance. And he has the last game of the season coming up. Just insane.
Yeah, I agree. That should get a lot more spotlight on what he's doing.
Playing for the badge, which I love to see in players.
Yeah.
Playing for the badge, playing for himself, playing for his brother, his family. I think he has a lot of emotions running through him right now, but he's a true professional and
staying focused.
Exactly, he didn't use
doing his job.
They have a goal in mind, and he's trying to help them win it. So
yeah, and I was showing that they're playing for Jose because it looked like at the beginning they were just going along with the system, not really gelling, and now it looks like they're finally adapting to that fossil football, which hopefully it changes next season. But for now, seems like it's working.
I don't think it's gonna change because it's Jose Mourinho.
I'm just hoping, but even if it does, if they keep doing this, the 30% possession every game and scoring goals off the counter, but once it stops working, change, man.
Personally, as a fan, I wouldn't like to see my team play like that
At all. Nope.
I mean, like I said, Tottenham should get the last 3 points of the season. I predicted that they were going to get 9 points in their last 3 games, and so far they're 6 out of 9.
Yeah,
so
they're looking like they're on their way.
They're on their way to 6th spot, the last potential European Europa League spot. The only team that could spoil your party, which would be fucking hilarious, is Arsenal.
Wouldn't be hilarious.
No, I think it's Wolverhampton. No,
I'm saying Arsenal if they win the FA Cup.
So FA Cup
automatically in the 6th spot.
Oh yeah, it's
so
true. Eh?
Since we're on that FA Cup, 2 big games: Arsenal and Man City.
Yep.
Chelsea United. We'll start with Arsenal and Man City.
The apprentice got it over the master. That's basically what it is. Arteta came out with a nice tactical game plan, and
structure.
It worked.
Arteta had the high ground on this one.
He must have because
I have to throw that in there.
From what I saw, like I wasn't able to watch the game, but I saw the highlights, and Aubameyang is just Aubameyang. I think he's proven his world-class quality, finishing his chances. Our defending again wasn't strong, but that's something we need to fix next season. Obviously, there's many rumors. We're going to get into that after about who we're looking at to bolster the back. But that this takes nothing away from Arteta. I'm super happy for him, and like I said before, when we were talking about it, I'm rooting for him to win FA Cup and to get that last Europa League spot.
Big turnaround for Arsenal and Arteta. Finally, his system and his ways are coming into play. I mean, David Luiz, we've shat on him like crazy, being a terrible defender, but he probably had like the game of his life. Good for them, and it was a big game for Arteta to prove himself.
Yep.
And now he's on his way to win his first trophy with 6 months of being a manager.
I want to say a quote that I saw from Pep's press conference, which was after the game.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reporters said, it seems Mikel learned a lot from you, from you guys, at his time in City. And then Pep literally responds, he's like, I think we learned from him.
Yeah,
that's all he responded with. So that was a huge, compliment from Pep, and it goes to show how amazing Arteta is, and he's ready to be a coach. He's ready to be a coach. You know what I mean? You could see it. Like he knows what he's doing. He just needs the right tools, and hopefully,
time.
Like we've said, time for sure, and the financial backing. Obviously, that's another thing. Yeah. But you're right. Time. He needs time for sure.
Because without time, you can't really. You can't really impose a system on a team.
No.
You can't get what you want.
And you need time
so fast right away.
And you need time to see who fits in your system that you want to play, who can't pull it off, even though you're giving them chance after chance, game after game. It's not working for them. You need to let them go, replace them, find a new spot.
I'm going to speak about that topic. I'm going to say something that Mourinho said about Klopp and Liverpool. That look at Klopp, he had 5 years to take over the team. And the only player that has lasted from when he first took over is Origi.
Henderson too.
No, I meant what do you call it? From the new players that he got. I forgot what it was. I forgot what Mourinho said. I have to find it now. I might be screwing up the quote, but he says, yeah.
Origi's looking at the lineup, Henderson would probably be in there. But yes, that makes sense.
Well, from 5 years ago.
I'm assuming Lovren came in after.
But Lovren's not even in the top 11 anymore.
No, because this is what he said. The only one that lasted from when he first took over has been Origi. That's his quote.
2011 or in general?
Yeah, exactly, from the team. Because back then Origi was in the starting 11 from that system.
Okay, so
it was
starting
only
11.
Origi, and now 5 years later, look at the team that he built.
Yeah.
He's just saying every coach needs time, and now look, 5 years later they won 2 major cups.
Time, the financial backing, like we said, because.
But that's the thing. Klopp also got everybody at a really good price too, right? He got Sadio at a good price. He got Salah at a good price. He got Firmino at a from Hoffenheim. I think he paid like 24 for Firmino.
No, and he extracted the best out of those players and
That's it.
implemented the system he wanted to play, and they all understood it and worked as a unit.
Yep.
Before we leave the Arsenal Man City talk, I was listening to Sky Sports, and they had Van Persie on their talk show, and he said basically that now that Arteta was given time to implement his whole system, in his eyes, especially if they win the FA Cup, he wouldn't change much in the squad. He would keep the squad as is because they played so well against Manchester City. What do you guys think about that?
That's one game though. You know what I mean?
You know what? It's not a bad shout considering that they're gonna keep. Well, Leno's injured. They're gonna keep him because they just got him 2 years ago. Why not?
Martinez needs an applause, man. This guy has been holding the team together with these saves that he's been making, especially against the Man City side too.
He's doing a backup goalie's job.
But really well though. You know what I mean?
The same thing with Tottenham when Hugo Lloris was out. Gazzaniga was holding them up.
Yeah.
Because it would have been way worse had he not been on his game. David Luiz, he signed an extension, so he's already planning to keep him. But he's only doing all of these moves because probably he knows that he's not going to get the financial backing like Klopp has gotten or like Pep has gotten.
Mm-hmm.
So he's really working with what he has.
But to add to your point, I mean, from the mid upwards, fine.
Yeah.
But the back four has to be changed.
Yeah, I agree.
They're probably going to sell Guendouzi from where we saw. I don't know who else they're planning on selling.
Ozil needs to fucking go. That salary needs to get out of there.
50 a week for sitting on the stands with an umbrella blocking the sun.
But there's also been rumors about Aubameyang and Lacazette getting rid of one of them to acquire a new player, probably a defenseman.
You're not going to get a lot of money from Lacazette, be Aubameyang.
But those guys,
Alex said, try everything you can to keep Aubameyang.
Build a team around him.
But if you want money, you can't sell anyone else for a big cut.
Yeah.
And morale's gonna go down if you drop one of them because they're like best friends too. So the locker room, you're gonna lose it a bit. But that's
very important too. Huh?
Yeah,
that's another thing to keep in mind is the locker room. All right, Chelsea and Manchester United. Boy, oh boy, when I blew out those candles Saturday night, I was praying and the Lord answered my fucking prayers, bro. That's all I have to say. I was really nervous coming into this game. But then I saw the lineup from United playing a 3-4-3, not starting Romero, who, by the way, has been killing it for the FA Cup. I don't know how many clean sheets. There was some ridiculous stat that he had. I can't remember what it was exactly. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got it wrong.
He did. That's on him more. Obviously, there's De Gea's ridiculous performances as well.
Pogba on the bench.
Just no comment.
Yeah, exactly.
Please comment, Antonio, what you've been saying the whole season on De Gea.
Listen, like I said, go to episode 12 where I ranted about him, which was like 6 months ago.
12.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
I've been saying what I've said about him for the past, since his Atletico Madrid days, since he got since he got sold to Manchester United for a hefty fee. I've always said this guy is nowhere near worth that much money, and he's not as big as everyone says. Granted, he had one great season with United. I'll give him that. But as a goalkeeper, he can't make that many mistakes. And once again, he proves 3 mistakes back to back, losing his team the game.
Yeah.
He was not on it. And there's 1 out of every 3 games he's not on it. And for a goalkeeper, can't happen.
Yeah.
Can't have that.
The caliber of that team, can't happen.
And for the caliber of any team, bro, if you're a goalkeeper, you can't have blunders once every 3 games.
No, you're the backbone of the team, so you have to make sure that you're on your shit every game.
Especially if you're considered world class.
Exactly.
Overrated.
You gotta make these.
And honestly, I'm saying this like very seriously. I'm not saying it to shit talk. Manchester United and their fans need to look for another goalkeeper.
Well, they have one.
It's about time.
They have one already.
You're saying Romero
No,
to start?
Dean Henderson.
To grab him back.
Grab him back once the season starts.
Okay,
And
so
I
let
think
me adjust my statement. You need to get rid of De Gea. Get rid of him.
It just sucks because you won't make as much as you were gonna make if you had sold him if it wasn't for the fax issue.
Maybe that's why they won't sell him right away.
They're gonna lose too much money on him.
It's okay. Like let's put finances to the side. He's been with the club for a very long time. Granted, if he's been shit or not, he has been good. He's had good seasons. He's won the Player of the Year for Manchester United. Like I don't know how many times.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
You know?
He's a fan
That's
favorite,
fair.
just like Pickford. Same thing.
But to sell him off right away, it's a little harsh.
Well, it's not right away.
It's a
been
business.
how many
It's a
years
business,
now?
though, right?
I understand it's a business, but like you said, the United fans have a soft spot for him.
Big one. They think he's
Yeah,
the
but
greatest
even
goalie ever.
Even them, they're starting to lose their patience,
Okay.
though.
But only
Hold
now,
on.
though. Yeah.
You managed to keep Pogba alongside Bruno. Your front three continues killing it next season. Is it not reasonable to say get rid of De Gea and get a goalkeeper like Henderson? What's his name?
Dean Henderson.
Dean Henderson.
I wouldn't say I understand, but I wouldn't
Get
say
him back.
get rid of him. I think they should transition Dean Henderson slowly.
That's what some of the United fans that we're friends with have said as well. They shouldn't rush him in right away.
No. Even though he has experience in PL, he plays for who?
Sheffield.
Sheffield.
Not as much pressure as playing for United.
Yep.
Obviously, there's a lot of demands when it comes to that badge. But a slow transition, I think, would be
Or
be
at
best.
least, or maybe start fucking playing Romero a little more.
Yeah.
And put your foot on De Gea's neck a little bit and say, look, buddy, you don't start fucking performing the way we think you do, this guy's going to start.
Put some pressure on him.
Pull
Friendly
Mourinho.
competition.
Mourinho wasn't trying to do that when he
You
took
can't
over.
be.
Yo, it's true.
And he even said in a press conference once, Romero is the better goalkeeper.
And after this, I'm going to go see what De Gea's wages are, just to see what they're paying him every week.
Then you,
I'll check, but
Yeah.
that to your point, I agree 100%. Implement him slowly into the lineup. How old is he? 20.
He's super young. I think he's like in his
23?
20s, yeah,
and
early
how,
20s.
And how respected De Gea is to the club, despite his results. Just out of respect and class, they're not going to just
Get rid of him.
Toss him to the
Plus, he
side.
has to say as well. It's not like the NHL where okay, you're getting traded here, bro. Bye.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
but now that I think about this, you just reminded me something. Cause I'm I say not to throw him to the side and get rid of him, but if Manchester United want to contend for titles, I think they have to do the same thing like what Pep did to Joe Hart
Yeah, but that's the point.
Or what?
or Claudio Bravo.
Or the same situation like Casillas,
Bro, I
man.
was just about
He
to
got
say that.
kicked out the door.
But that's
And
the point.
look how highly respected he was by the badge, by the
Yeah.
team,
By
everybody.
the fans, yeah, facts.
And he
you know
got
what? Yeah.
kicked out, man.
Literally.
But that's the point he literally just made before. Is if Pogba's gonna stay, it's because he believes that they have the answer to compete for titles. But if you keep dropping games like this, that's
Yeah.
not the answer, and you need to fix it fast, regardless of who it is. I know he's been there for a long time,
Right.
but if I'm the coach,
unfortunate.
I'm looking to win with
It's
this squad.
unfortunate.
It's
yeah.
not unfortunate, it's business, like what Alex
It's
said
business,
before.
man.
It's
That's
the
what
way
it
it
is.
is sometimes in sports.
How much
Yes.
you make, Ant?
His weekly salary is $375.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was
Okay,
gonna
fine.
say
You know,
350. But
you know,
wow.
it's nice that he's been loyal. Obviously, it's appreciated.
Each goal costed 125 grand, bro.
Bro, think of it that way.
But
Quick
you want to make the most of your team's performances now. Look at how Pogba's playing. Look how Bruno's playing. You need to push now. You know what I mean? You can't afford to have these drop offs like this.
George, that was really quick math for what you got in grade
shut up.
Sec 3, bro. The grade you got in Sec 3.
46 first term, 33 second term. And look at me now, ladies and gents. But Ole got like I said before, Ole got the lineups wrong, considering that they went 18 or 17 games unbeaten, playing a 4-3-3.
And that's what I was gonna say before when I brought up the lineup. Even the pundits were saying they were completely confused because since the restart, he's had the same exact lineup, the same exact 11, 4-2-3-1, same players in every position with Greenwood. And then all of a sudden he puts in James. He puts in I think it was I forgot who else was there. McTominay maybe.
I don't know.
Fred, I think played too. No.
Who's that left back? Brandon
Brandon Williams,
There
too.
you go. Yeah.
So it was just a complete 180 there. I don't know what happened.
So you know what I think happened? Because I believe the 3 times, don't quote me, that Chelsea played them this year, they played a 3-4-3 and they did the same thing. So there was like a bit of like mind games between the managers, you know? And
Man United beat Chelsea all those times.
Yes,
no? That's why. So they probably felt a little overconfident there.
And even before this game, Chelsea were playing a 4-3-3 and they decided to go a 3-4-3. So
you know what I seriously think happened before the match?
Tell me.
Abramovich took his Russian mafia, sent them to De Gea's door, dropped the game.
Yeah.
And
Listen, it worked.
And
it makes sense, man.
And Frank starting Caballero was just another way of just him seeing how great he is as a manager and how much he trusts his players.
Yeah.
Because I think any other coach would have started their starting keeper. Look at Pep too. He started Ederson. I don't know what happened with Bravo. I don't know if Bravo was injured or not. But anybody else would have started their starting keeper. And the fact that he started Willie over Kepa says a lot about Frank.
And not to mention, before we leave this game, Christian Pulisic did not play, who has been our best player. So
Since the restart.
Sure.
No doubt.
Bravo was injured.
Bravo's injured. Okay, so anyways.
Bravo's in.
Olivier, man. I'm going to give him a shout too, man. Giroud.
He's been killing it since the restart.
Man Rocket on and off the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely.
The guy
absolutely.
fucks on and off the pitch.
Absolutely.
3 times.
All right. Watford. The sad story of Watford with Nigel Pearson, the head manager, getting sacked with only 2 games left of the season.
Fact.
I mean,
Good job, Watford.
this is a team that beat Liverpool, right? They were the first team to beat Liverpool. And then
But they're seriously they're fighting for relegation to get out of relegation.
Yeah.
Get out of relegation.
They still have a chance to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to win their last game, basically.
So that's the reasoning, man. They didn't have any confidence in the coach. They would rather go, I think, with their assistant coaches.
I think it's like assistant coaches and staff or whatever.
Yeah,
fuck it
because
is.
like I think, like I was saying before, I had seen an article that said if they officially appoint a new head coach right now at this moment before the next game, they'll make history being the first team ever or the first club ever to have 4 managers in one season. They had
Disgusting.
Javi Garcia, they had Flores, they had Pearson, and now if they were gonna have another one, but anyways,
I think they have 2 games left, actually.
2 games, so they're 36 instead of 37.
Is that what I said?
Yeah, they have 2 games left.
And they're playing City and Arsenal.
Oh,
They'll lose against City, beat Arsenal.
Like, they can, if they draw one of them, which
With
will
Arsenal's form, they're gonna beat Arsenal.
And don't forget, what?
With Arsenal's form, the way it is, they're gonna beat them.
What form? They lost to Tottenham. Win 3 games in a row, and then we'll talk about form. Bournemouth also have to drop points. And Aston Villa.
bro, they just beat City though.
Which?
Arsenal.
Yes, I know, but when I talk about form, I mean you have to win many games in a row. Winning 1 game against a team that already has nothing to win.
They had the
They had the
FA
FA to
Cup.
win, bro.
They had the FA to win.
They didn't really.
We're trying to start a,
Bro, you know,
debate
you,
here.
you don't realize that the FA Cup is a very prestigious cup in England. You know that, huh? There's a lot of history behind it, and
Yeah.
and winning the FA Cup is almost just as big as winning the PL.
Pep does not agree with
Well,
that.
And-
fuck him.
And
bro.
Arsenal
Exactly,
did
yeah.
beat
Fuck
Liverpool.
you.
Just throwing that out there.
Huh?
Arsenal did beat Liverpool,
And they beat Liverpool, so they're starting to rise a little.
and I think that's what form actually means.
Yeah, but look at Liverpool's last 4 games. They're dropping points to everyone.
Well, listen,
They still played a
bro,
full lineup.
Yeah.
Listen, bro, I don't care because my team. I'm nervous to play Liverpool too. Because who knows? After getting slapped by fucking Arsenal with those 2 tragic goals
Yeah.
that they scored,
Yeah.
that they let in, I should say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be nervous that they bounce back and slap Chelsea.
Show your jersey. He hates Arsenal.
Big time.
No, but they're playing a lot better than they fucking did.
That's all I'm saying.
We're at 95% of the season, bro. So all I need is a draw because they have 34, and then after Villa and Bournemouth have 31.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know how they'll manage to get a
Maneuver
draw.
it. Yeah, exactly.
So as the table stands, Norwich is out, they're getting relegated. It's official. It's been official, I think, like 2 games.
Yep.
Even before they played Chelsea. And 19th and 18th spot is Bournemouth and Aston Villa. Aston Villa with a game in hand, 36 games, and Bournemouth played with 37. So yeah, that's.
I feel bad for Bournemouth a bit, just because I feel they deserved a little better, but I guess they just didn't get the games right this year. And the coach is great; they all love him. He's been there for a long time, so
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll come
Even
back.
Villa
They'll be
too.
back. They'll be back.
Villa too.
Even Villa too. They don't have a terrible squad.
Yeah.
But just the way it
It's
is.
the way it is.
Also, we have to wait and see where Jack
Yeah.
Grealish is going to go.
Even Bournemouth, they're gonna lose. What's his name? Wilson and Fraser.
Yep.
They're losing both their stars,
And
guaranteed.
And there's rumors now that Nathan Ake is on his way to City
For imagine losing those 3 guys.
for 35 mil, which is a
And
complete
Ake is their
steal.
captain, so
Good
when you
looking,
lose Aston Villa, they're gonna lose their captain if Grealish leaves too. So that's 2 teams, losing their big guy. They
Good
gotta
looking championship.
make way. Yeah.
All right, so moving right along to La Liga with, unfortunately, Antonio Real Madrid being crowned champions with 2 games left, I believe.
Yeah.
That same day that Real Madrid played, Barcelona had played, and they fell short.
Yeah.
And there was big comments from the big boy himself, Lionel Messi, saying that I don't know the exact quote. I know you're gonna pull it up right now, but pretty much saying that they cannot continue like this.
Wow, what he said was what a captain of a massive club like Barcelona had to say.
Yeah.
Everyone shit talks about how much of a quiet personality he has. After the documentary, the documentary about the FC Barcelona documentary,
On
everyone was
Netflix,
ripping
yeah.
him
Yeah.
about how he was speaking in the locker room, but that post-match interview just showed me how much of a massive player he is on and off the pitch, because every word that came out of his mouth that day was true. And look at the result they got against Alaves. They pounded a team as they should, 5-0, even though it meant nothing at all. So he's waking everybody up slowly and surely.
Shaking
Do you
the
have
cage.
do you have the
I
quote?
have a couple of things here that he said. So one of them was, "We have lost because of our mistakes and not because of Madrid's successes."
Yeah.
So that's definitely important to bring up. And I think there was one last one. Just let me find it here. There was one last one.
He
that I
said
saw.
basically that everyone was talking about was that if they continue playing like this, they're not going through against Napoli
Yeah.
in the Champions League.
That was basically it.
So listen, I'm going to
words.
start off with praising Madrid, even though I'm not in accordance with the way they won. They still won the La Liga title, and you could tell that Zinedine Zidane was extremely happy about it, and he said that it's one of the toughest titles to win because you have to stay consistent the whole season. You have to get wins, and you can't drop points at all like Barcelona did. So if I'm going to praise anybody, it's not the club. It's more Zinedine Zidane. If I have respect for anybody in that club, it's him. For what he did as a player in his career, besides the headbutt to Materazzi. We're going to remove that. And what he's been doing and doing currently as a manager. So I think I'm going to give credit where credit is due and praise Zinedine Zidane. He took Real Madrid from what they were last season at the beginning of 2018, losing at the Bernabeu. What was it? Fucking 3-0 or whatever. They got pounded by Barcelona. Pounded in Lopetegui's last game. Came in mid-season, brought them to third last season, and now he's champions with that pretty much the same squad.
Yeah.
So
And you lost Ronaldo.
and he lost Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were saying without Ronaldo, he's nothing. And I laughed at those people. I said, you don't know Zinedine Zidane and what he's capable of. He did it without Ronaldo right there. He won La Liga. So for me, he's the sole reason. He gets the best out of his players. He has a system that works. And we were talking about, I forget which team, where the manager really believed in his players. Zidane is someone to believe in his players, especially the youth. Look how many times he played Vinicius and Rodrigo.
And that's what actually I was just going to bring up
Yeah.
is there's 3 guys that come to mind when I think about this season for Real who didn't play or barely played or didn't play well. James Rodriguez.
At one point, I totally forgot he was in the squad.
Right. Hazard.
Injury, but before the injury, we'll give him that.
And
Which he said-
and Isco.
Yeah, which he said, Hazard said, worst season of his life individually.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show, and that's what he's trying to say, is that Zidane just took over in terms of mentality for the locker room, especially his young guys, gave them that confidence boost, started them. Vinicius especially, who really killed it this season and stepped up. But yeah, no, it's...
He controlled that locker room. He controlled everything that was going on in the pitch. This guy, Zidane, was getting hounded for the actions of Gareth Bale. He was getting hounded for the performance of Eden Hazard. Still kept with it.
Yep.
Told everyone, don't worry about it, shut the fuck up type of thing. I got this. And honestly, he got it.
But you want to know something else? I think it's just you win 3 Champions Leagues, bro.
I think he has 4 under his belt. Am I wrong, right or wrong to say that?
I think he has 3.
Yes,
3? It was 3.
It was 3 back-to-back.
Three peat they did, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Anyways,
Doesn't matter.
You do that, and then the year that he wanted to sign big players, he had a falling out with Perez.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm sorry, Perez is an idiot for even like. Obviously, he played top. He played like top guy, like you're not better than me kind of thing. I own the club, whatever.
Yeah.
Zidane stepped aside, and then look what happened. And then he comes back.
It was a total demolition.
And he turns the team 180.
That's
and
exactly
then brings
what
them
I'm
back
saying.
to where they were.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
All Zidane wanted was what's the word I'm looking for?
Financial backing.
No, not that he had that. It was more of the fact that he wanted his say in who to sign, and Paris was like, no, we decide, and that's why he left.
Yeah.
Paris fucked up, and he realized that pretty quickly after going through 2 managers.
In
Lopetegui
the span of 6 months.
Exactly, and then they got Zidane back, but Zidane only came back though, and I remember reading it on the article. Zidane only came back because Paris had to agree to let him choose the players that he wants to sign for the club.
Well, who's sorry to cut you off. Let me just get this out.
Yeah.
And who's taking care of the players? Who's
managing them?
Day out? The manager. So I don't even understand Perez's argument.
Yep.
Sit down, shut up, collect the checks, and that's it, man.
And another big praise apart from Zidane that I want to say now before we move on from Real Madrid is they lose Ronaldo, Hazard's injured. Who steps up and who's always been stepping up but never gets praise? Benzema. Who showed up
a veteran for the team.
every single game. He's finally getting recognition because CR7 is not there anymore. Who took over the whole team, put them on their back? Benzema. Who never stopped playing well? Benzema.
And Ramos. He turned it up after, like I was saying before.
Yeah.
But Ramos
and Courtois.
Yeah, for sure. Courtois had a pretty big turnaround after the first 10, 15 games, I would say.
18 clean sheets.
Yep.
So,
Just saying.
but that's you get what I'm saying in praising
Yep.
Zidane and how he gets the best out of his players. Honestly, can't give the praise to anybody else, I would say. This is his second La Liga title. The season 16-17 was his first one. And interesting point over here that I realized, I don't know if it's the first time they won outside of Bernabeu. For sure, obviously, disregard before the Bernabeu was built. I'm pretty sure this was the first time they won a trophy in the Castilla Stadium. So I don't know if you guys realize they were not playing in the Bernabeu.
No. I didn't realize that.
No.
They haven't been playing there because
I had no
Perez
idea.
is doing
No.
renovations to the stadium.
Okay.
So because no fans were allowed in the stadium, they said let's get these renovations started early.
That's smart. Yeah.
And they'll just play where the Castillas play in a 5,000, 6,000 capacity stadium.
Well, the
So-
Castilla is what now? This
It's
is the training ground?
the second
Second division.
second team,
Yeah.
Real Madrid B.
Okay, I didn't know that. Interesting.
And besides the 2018 takeover, that fucking mess of a season where Lopetegui was in charge and everything, he hasn't gone trophyless. Zidane.
I think I saw this stupid fact. It was
Crazy.
every 19 games he's winning a trophy,
Yeah, so this year he
It's
has.
insane.
which is pretty
What do you
nuts.
mean?
This year he has Supercopa, which I don't agree with, because they ended up in third. Fucking garbage. Anyways, he has Supercopa and La Liga under his belt. So, not bad for the first season back with Real Madrid.
And he has a chance for Champions League.
Yeah, exactly.
Which would be absolutely nuts if they win.
They have to
by
get
somehow.
by City because they're down 2-1 right now.
They have a pretty big mountain to
But
climb.
they're going to the Etihad, so if they can get a goal right away for an away goal, they might pull
In
through.
Real Madrid's eyes, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. I think City still has the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Pep is crazy, but Zidane does have his numbers over Pep. Eh? I don't think Pep ever won a game against Zidane. I'm
We'll
not
see.
sure about that, but pretty
what
sure
happens.
anyways.
Well, that 2-1 game, Zidane was coaching, no?
Oh, besides the 2-1 game. Sorry,
Right.
I meant
But
before
that. Yeah,
Yeah, you're
Interesting.
right. And another crazy stat, they broke a record this year for having the most goal scorers in La Liga.
Yeah.
So they had 21 different goal scorers for the club,
Talk about
which
getting...
is fucking outrageous. I mean,
Yeah.
squad size is like 20. Well, when they're playing is 18.
18.
21 guys, different guys scored for their team. Absolutely mental. Now, I want to move on to Barcelona. Even though we struggled throughout the whole season, even though Messi said what he had to say, I do want to give them credit because they stuck with them till the last two games. The last two games, they were right there. And it was a horse race the whole season.
Yeah.
You guys witnessed that. So I just want to give them credit there. We've won 8 titles in the past 12 years now, and it shows that we were right there, right at the end. And look how much trouble we had this season with the 2 coaches, Quique Setien coming in mid-season, everybody talking shit, us losing against Bilbao in the semifinals. Not bad, honestly, not bad. So I would take that as motivation and get that fucking Champions League that you guys have been promising us for the past 5 years now.
I get what you're saying, but I also like the standard for Barcelona. The bar is set so fucking high that to them this year was like a disaster season.
But that's what I'm saying, a disaster season, and it still took to the second to last game for Real Madrid to win
Okay.
that title.
It wasn't
When
a
we've
complete
done it with
blow
5
up.
games extra, you know.
Yeah.
But the standard is set that way because of who Messi is and the fact that everyone is just so impatient with the fact that his time is running out in the next 2-3 years. So if you're not getting the best out of your accomplishments now for the team, you're wasting him at that point. That's how everyone's looking at it. So if Barca don't win titles every year after year, it's because they're seeing you still have Messi, you know, you're wasting his talent basically.
And it's true. Like, Messi is the biggest thing that happened to us in all of our history. And honestly, ever since Neymar left, we haven't taken advantage.
Yep.
Everybody knows what happened against Roma. Everybody knows what happened against Liverpool. And those are games you shouldn't be dropping.
Yep.
Those were, at least against Liverpool, that was an easy final to go to.
Yeah.
You know? We were up 3-1. What was it in the first leg? 3-1?
3-1.
3-1, and then they dropped
Liverpool
the
didn't
game.
score. In,
3-0, and then they...
Oh, I
it's
think it was
4-0,
3-0.
guys.
4-0.
It was
It
4-0?
was 4-0.
I remember seeing 3-0 and then they...
No, they scored 3.
No, the reason why
Anyways,
I
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We dropped the ball the second leg, and
Right.
it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see what happens this year in the Champions League. I honestly still believe in us, especially seeing how they played against Alaves. Amazing. And honestly, I want to say just one thing before we leave Barcelona. Start Ricky Puig in the midfield against Napoli.
Take a note from Zidane's book there and start the young gun.
100%. With De Jong and Busquets there as well. And then figure out the rest of the squad.
Are you talking about for Champions League now?
Yeah, Napoli. Against the Napoli.
Is he eligible to play?
Who? Ricky?
Ricky Puig.
Yeah, him and a
He's
lot
on-
of other youngsters.
He's on the squad list.
I'm pretty sure anyways. We could
The
check later.
23-man
though.
squad? Yeah, okay, maybe.
I'll check.
Somebody
Pretty
check it up.
I'm checking.
And get back because it'd be very interesting to see him.
They're
play.
still go for that.
To clear up the points we were making before, it was 3-0 the first leg, and they came back. To
Yeah,
4-0.
that's what I figured. I remember
It was supposed
seeing.
to be 4-0, but
Oh, yeah,
Dembele
Dembele
missed
missed.
it last minute, and
Yeah.
Messi gave him shit. Would have been 4-0.
But based on that last result and the comments that he made, I think they're going to be fired up against Napoli, and they're going to pull
It's
through.
1-1 now. We have just a away goal advantage, so
I hope so anyway, though.
they're going to Camp Nou.
I agree with
Barcelona.
I agree with Anthony. I think they're fired up and they're really upset at themselves, and they're gonna really come out blazing.
I'm not worried about the Napoli game. I'm really coming in very confident into that game. It's who the hell we have to play after. I think it's either Real Madrid or City, no?
No, that's against Juve or Lyon or whatever.
So who do we
Bayern.
potentially have to go up against?
Bayern or Chelsea.
Bayern or Chelsea. So Bayern.
So Bayern.
Thanks,
base.
guys.
And to say what Antonio was trying to figure out, he is on the squad.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
cool.
I was pretty sure.
Cool. All right, so moving right along to some pretty shocking news that we found
Yeah,
out
go for it.
right before the podcast. Valencia
Yep.
in financial crisis due to obviously fucking COVID-19.
Over 500 mil.
Willing to sell 12 of their players to make up.
Their full squad, except for 2 players.
This,
Everyone's up for sale.
this is incredible. I've never heard anything of this before. I never thought a team, a top flight team, your top flight European team
Yeah.
to ever come to this.
When it rains, it pours from this season.
Holy
From the last
shit,
couple of
man.
seasons to where they are now, mid-table team. Now you have to sell all your assets just to stay afloat, so you don't get into bankruptcy. Is actually
Well,
beyond
it's a lot of
sad.
companies in the world going through it too. Like they just need to restructure their entire business in
Yeah.
a sense,
Big time.
and they got to get rid of their players. They got to restart. And I don't know if you want to say anything before.
No, I was just gonna mention the high caliber names like Rodrigo,
Parejo.
Pero.
you know,
Guimaraes.
Romero, guys like that that
Silva
are going to be
too.
in probably different squads next season, 100%, because they're quality players.
Yeah, and
But
one of those names, speaking about, because I'm looking at Alex with the Man City, is Ferran Torres, the winger, the U21 winger for Valencia, who could go for 60 million to Man City.
yeah,
Which that's a big chunk of cheese for a young player.
So those are the reports that are coming in. He's
Yeah,
going.
from 4 days ago. Apparently the fee's already been agreed, but let's see what happens. in
I
the
feel
next
like
few days.
Yeah,
go for
go
Jordan.
ahead.
No, go for me.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like there are a lot of other teams going through it, but they haven't been public yet. Like I feel like there's more than just Valencia that's
I
going
think
through
so
that.
too, and I think with this Torres kid that you mentioned, I think revealing this news that they're in financial crisis kind of bit them in the ass because now City can play.
You're desperate.
They can play fucking tough guy. They can play
Yep.
well, the ball's in our court. You need to sell players.
You need money, so-
You need money. I'm only giving you 30, and they're gonna.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Maybe not. Maybe they might go for the highest bidder and get what they can.
Yeah, but if I was in Valencia's case, I would offer him to another club and then tell them, look, City's only willing to pay 30. How much do you want him for?
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
exactly. That's what you could play. Worst case, especially for a young prospect. What I want to say in terms of Valencia is that maybe they also saw the result of their team in La Liga this season and said, maybe it's time to restructure. You know, like these players aren't getting it done for us.
Maybe it's a sign. You know,
We're not even in Europa League next season.
Yeah.
But I think a big name team like that should be going through a full resell.
Well,
That's a big step.
that-
If they said 1 or 2 players, bro, they're saying the full squad's been put up for transfer listed.
That's where I disagree with the whole European structure of the leagues compared to North American structure, whereas if a club is ever struggling, the league comes in and helps them out financially. Look at prime example, NHL and the Phoenix Coyotes. Prime example there. And the Florida Panthers.
Okay, so that's what you were saying before the podcast. I understand your point now.
The league comes in and helps out the club, which you don't have in Europe at all. At all.
Because everything it's all open business and everything is like
It's a
private,
free market.
privately
Yeah,
owned.
exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like if it's
You
all
have your pros and cons to both sides,
for
obviously.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
Obviously. But in times like this, I would like to see the league just
Step
help
up.
them out a bit.
Yeah, because I heard rumors that also for Liga, like 5 or 7 teams are gonna get bankrupt.
Yep.
They're not gonna make it.
Fucking
Imagine half the league goes bankrupt.
Yep.
fucking Gattuso's giving up his wages to get players.
Like, look at that.
But that's just like
that's a different mindset.
That's
from
a
that
different
guy.
mindset.
That's a guy you want to bring to war.
That's heart and soul and passion, bro.
That's a guy you want in your bunker.
You did make a good point before about how Valencia might look to their youth to fill the squad, and I think that's
Where
a
else
good.
do you want to look?
That's a good idea.
They have a Valencia B, so
Yeah,
they could
maybe
just
just
promote
promote
those
them.
players.
What
Keep the salaries the same, obviously. You know.
Imagine the feeling of all those kids though going up and getting promoted like that.
They're all 16 to 20 years old.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're buzzing right now.
They're buzzing about this news for sure because there's definitely an option.
Because imagine, sorry to cut you off.
right.
Imagine now, like, you have the academy. It's always 1 or 2 players that ends up
Right.
going through to the first
Right.
team. Others might get sent out to other teams, and they could actually
Yep.
like make a career. Now there's like a higher percentage that the whole fucking team,
Yep.
So these guys
Ends up
are
playing.
salivating for sure.
Yeah.
you know, and it's gonna be interesting to see because they might end up playing like pretty good football next year.
Did anybody else want to bring up anything for the Valencia talk?
No, it just shows that how much of a financial impact this pandemic has had on
Big time.
even big companies too. So
Big time.
it's crazy, man.
Yep. The last thing for La Liga that we had was for Cazorla playing his last game.
Yeah.
I was
Emotional.
surprised to see it, but he is 35 years old. Maybe he said, I'm going to end off in a high note with 15 goals and
8 assists, I think.
8 assists it was.
8 or 9.
Insane numbers. Insane for a guy that almost amputated his foot. You know what I'm saying? And now he's going to Xavi's team, Al Sadd.
Yep.
Collect the paycheck. Show the
Which he
other
deserves
players how
every
to play,
penny of.
real football. and
Absolutely.
That's it, bro. I'm very happy for him.
Mm-hmm.
And also, just a shout out, Bruno is also going to be leaving the Villarreal also.
Oh, Bruno Soriano. Yeah.
The
Okay.
player who was also injured, kind of like Santi, and
Okay.
hadn't played for 2 years. Him too. It was his last game yesterday on Sunday.
Crazy.
A lot of crazy stories coming from that side.
Heartwarming.
Yep.
I'm happy for
Heartwarming.
him. He's one of the most underrated playmakers, man.
Honestly.
To play the
Yeah.
game, he's fantastic, man. I'm happy for him.
All right. Serie A. Let's go.
Oh boy,
Oh boy.
loads to fucking talk about here, boys.
Show the player on the back. Show it to the camera.
You have to stand up.
Yeah.
Oh, they could see it from there.
Oh, you spilled beer in your fucking.
No, it's empty.
No.
See you. It
No,
stopped midway.
We'll start off with the middle of the week very quickly. Juve blew another 2-goal lead.
Okay.
Standard procedure. The last few games, at least. Shout out to Domenico Berardi and Francesco Caputo, leading the Sassuolo attack, who's also been fantastic since the restart out of nowhere.
Shocking.
They both got a goal and assist each. Caputo was another nice story to add on to Carzola's. Basically, 18 goals, 7 assists this year, and he's been a City B boy the majority of his career, bouncing from Bari to Siena to Empoli, who got promoted to Serie A last year. And he actually scored 16 goals last year, which caught the eyes of a few Serie A teams. Sassuolo jumped on him, and he's been fucking helping Berardi out tremendously. So it's he already broke his career high, second season in Serie A, so that's super cool for him.
Isn't he a bit older as well?
32 years old on top of
Yeah.
it.
And he has 18 goals and 7 assists.
breakout year.
He's a forward?
Striker.
Wow.
He's their number 9.
Very nice.
And Berardi's on the right. But moving on from that, Lazio and Udine, Lazio dropped points again, 0-0. Not even able to score a goal. I was getting worrisome that Immobile is not gonna crack that 29 goal career high that he scored back in 2017, 2018.
Right, yeah.
With Icardi. So that changed today with Juve winning 2-1 against Lazio.
And even though they were losing, he looked very relieved after scoring that penalty. He
Yeah.
looked like a monkey jumped off his back.
Because
Even though like it was late in the game, they were down and out. For him scoring that goal, getting that 30th personal record goal,
Yeah.
he looked relieved.
You talking about Chiro now?
Yeah, Chiro.
So, real quick, Cristiano Ronaldo has 12 penalties in Serie A, 12 scored. Ciro Immobile, 13 penalties, 12 scored.
Wow. Okay.
So big chunk out of the 30 for each of them.
Yeah.
Bro, you gotta convert them, bro. Even if they're a penalty, it's huge pressure on your shoulders either way, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of players shit the bed when they take them, so...
That's a good point too. That's a good point
It's
too.
still a goal at the end
It's
of
just something that people look at when they need something to use in an argument,
100%.
and they'll never bring it up unless it's not
flawed.
in that.
It's
Yeah.
flawed in my opinion. I'm sorry to tell you guys, whoever says penalty shots are relevant.
George could contest to this. How many times we won finals in when we were younger in penalty shootouts? I would always go and say, I ain't taking that shot. Fuck that.
I
Put me on the bench. Bring someone
I was
else
just
on
gonna
the
say I
pitch.
would watch from the bench.
Yeah, it's
I wouldn't even watch. I'd be on the bench turned around.
That's
yeah, man, I would
crazy.
shit my pants, man. Fucking go
You
for the
wouldn't be-
spot.
So you know what? I like that you guys brought that up, and that story you brought up, because it just shows how much pressure there is to take it. So you know what? Scoring 13 out of 13, man, and especially sometimes when Ronaldo would take those penalties, they were in the dying minutes to win the game too. That's
Some of
why,
them.
yeah. So
And it says here no player has ever scored 13 spot kicks in Serie A in a campaign. So
Another record broken.
another
another
record
record broken by Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo, 35 years old, absolutely killing it.
and Manny's gonna love us for that stat. So we love you too, Manny.
The other record that he broke that we didn't mention is that he now has 50 plus goals in Serie A, Premier League, and La Liga.
the
and
only
he's
player to do so.
And he's the only player to do so. So congratulations to him. And that's all I gotta say.
But to continue, yeah, in that game, they were, you know, obviously there's most of the games where they were inconsistent and they weren't playing to their standards, but they were tactically competent in this game. Honorable mention, by the way, very quickly to Rabiot. I wasn't sure if I was watching Vidal from 2015 or fucking Rabiot, because he was running back and forth like a madman. It was finally very fucking refreshing to watch, bro. Like, just full energy. Just even if you weren't doing much, like, just show that you care, show that you're fucking trying.
Yeah,
bro.
he was hustling out
He was
there.
hustling, you know what
I
I
think
mean?
that
And he's-
goal,
I think that goal fucking
yeah.
just gave him a fucking
And
hard on.
correct me if I'm wrong. These are back-to-back great performances from him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Despite the tie against Sassuolo, yeah, man, he's been really showing his colors since he scored that cracker of a goal.
Right.
Fucking one of the contenders of goal of the year this year, 100%. It's funny enough that Dybala wasn't gonna start originally for this game. Higuain was gonna start, but last minute he had a muscle issue, and Dybala came on, and thank God he did, because that duel of Ronaldo and Dybala once again was fucking remarkable.
What a fucking lucky guy, bro. He played with Ronaldo and Messi.
Yeah, but say Dybala's quality too, man.
No, I'm
Even barely with Messi, bro. That fucking
never
ball-headed
played.
peasant, bro, barely fucking started him. So please,
He never played with
Fucking,
Argentina.
that's
He's always on
another-
the bench.
it's another conversation that,
He
anyways.
got to train with Messi.
You got to train with
There
him.
you go.
he got to touch both Messi
Or-
and Ronaldo.
There you go.
I can only touch pictures of them on my phone.
Yeah, or you
At
can play a
night.
combined total of 90 minutes from how many times you were subbed on.
Don't fool anybody. You don't touch Ronaldo's picture at night.
Touches himself at night. Yeah, Ronaldo scored. He becomes the fourth player in Serie A history to score 30 goals or more, along with Immobile
Yeah.
and Higuain in 20. Can't remember the date or year. Someone check that for me. But
When the announcer was going crazy in that Napoli stadium, yelling his name
And-
87 times.
And fun fact about him, like I was mentioning to you guys before, that 36 goal year was super impressive because he wasn't the primary penalty taker. He only scored 3 penalties that year out of 36 goals.
I
Imagine
did not
he gave
know
him the
that.
penalty shots.
40,
Didn't know that.
50,
Disgusting.
45, whatever.
That's actually insane.
Insane. I think it was Hamzik.
Hamzik
did everything.
It was Hamzik,
He
actually.
did everything.
Because I
Everything.
think Tommy had him that year in fantasy, and he was getting all those goals.
Murked it.
Yeah.
Was that
Murked
the same
it.
year he took fucking... what's
Shut
his
up,
name?
shut up, keep going.
Flamini.
Shut up, keep going. Shut up, keep going. Van Persie, first round. Shut up, keep going. Keep going.
Oh my god.
Keep going.
So...
Same with that stupid ass player. The fuck's a Flamini.
I mean, even coming into this, despite Lazio's Shat's form, it was still a massive matchup to come into. They haven't been able to basically play to their standards. Lazio also, really since the restart. But nonetheless, Juve come to town. Even the teams that are struggling, they're still going to fucking do their best against Juve. So I was still worried that Lazio were going to
Put up a fight
and give us a run for our money. Now Juve go 8 points clear.
There you go.
First place, 4 games remaining. Their 9th straight Scudettos on the horizon, so we'll definitely see how the season pans out. It's looking like it's going to go to us. They always find ways to win, like I can tell you guys all the year. Even if it isn't the prettiest, it separates their talent from the rest. So we'll see how it happens next year, which I want to bring up to you guys as well. That even though like we haven't been really been able to apply Sarri's tactics fully or consistently, how is Serie A going to turn out next year? Is it going to be more competitive? Is it going to be more tight than it is this year? Considering now Atalanta's in the mix, Milan is rejuvenated. Inter is buying players.
Well, Inter is the first team that comes to mind in terms of the additions they've made and the important additions they've made to their squad. Don't forget, this was Conte's first season with the team. When he has that second season and everybody's really understanding of his tactics and what he wants and what he's asking for, I really think we're going to see a stronger Inter next year, even though they were really strong this year, but we're going to see something different from them next year. Lazio are going to be upset. They're going to come back strong too, and Atalanta has been Atalanta for the last 2-3 seasons. Where they've always been in the mix, and I think we've seen them at their strongest this year from those 3 seasons, right?
No, without a doubt.
So to answer your question, I think yes, it will be as competitive, if not even more, because each of them have something on their shoulder.
Yeah.
And I think now, speaking about next season, I think AC Milan and Roma are going to do a switch. I think Roma's going to start dropping the ball and going down, and AC Milan's on the rise.
Well, actually, funny that you brought that up about Roma. Didn't you just mention before we started recording that Roma is going through issues as well financially?
Yes, they're also going through financial issues. And now they're going to have to start selling players. And one of those players who's been linked to Tottenham is Zaniolo. So it starts from one player leaving.
Amazing.
I don't know what's going to happen with Dzeko. He's towards the end of his career.
Little domino effect, yeah.
Now it's going to start with one. Then they're going to see financial. They're going to be like, shit, now I have to sell half the team.
And you were going to say something, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that maybe I don't think... Okay, if they do end up winning, if Sarri ends up winning, it's going to be his first league title, no?
Yeah.
So his first league title, but I don't think he's the type of manager who can hold the bar. He's not...
You think he's a one-off manager?
Yeah, I don't think he's... I'm not going to say he's inexperienced, but I don't think he's as experienced as other top-flight managers in Europe. With that being said, I think Inter, like you said, Antonio Conte, he brings a lot of fucking passion. He brings a lot, but he brings a lot to the game. He understands the game, I find, better than Sarri. That's just my opinion, because they both managed Chelsea. So I'm looking at this
from what you've experienced.
From what I've experienced,
right?
And what else was I gonna say?
And Tommy just name-dropped Gattuso too, and I forgot to mention Napoli, who's definitely going to make a nice push next year.
Big time.
I was just going to mention it in case you guys didn't watch Napoli next year.
Yeah.
So the last thing I wanted to say was, I think Juve have 4 defeats this year.
I think so.
In Serie A. Correct me if I'm
Checking
wrong.
right now.
Double check.
Yeah,
but if that's the case, it's a lot of defeats to be holding. 4
and 5 draws.
That's a lot of defeats to be holding first place.
Yeah, but that says about the other teams and then more than them, right?
No, for sure. But in terms of next season, like we're talking about,
you won't be able to do that and hold first place.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Next year is what I'm trying to say.
Of course, and that's where I was saying before that even despite they haven't been, this game they applied Sarri's tactics perfectly. Yeah. It was awesome. They're all in it. They're all aggressive, attacking. It separates them from the rest because not only from the clutchness and that winning mentality, it's just that lack of depth. Yeah. Also, Inter were very unlucky this year too. That games didn't go their way, and just consistency. Just also lack of depth that's why Inter is really focused on just supplying their team with as many solid players, even if they're going to stay on the bench. It's gonna be super. That's where
that becomes important.
Yeah. Lazio didn't change a lot.
And to add on to Roma, on top of the financial struggles that they're going to be in next season, they also have a chance of making 7th, of AC Milan taking over. So imagine having a bunch of debt and not making Europe. So they're in a really bad spot.
But if they're gonna go through a rebuild next year, they're gonna need less pressure from titles.
So it's better for them to be
to
seventh.
focus on Serie A to figure out what they need to do.
It's better if
And
they don't have the extra competition.
Antonio, you wanted to mention something before?
I totally forgot, so don't worry about
You're
it.
talking about Napoli.
It'll come back to you.
No,
Right, I just said that,
something
yeah.
else.
Well, can I say something then?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
For
go
Napoli, the only thing I want to say in terms of how they're going to compete next year, they're looking at Osimhen for 70 mil, which is a lot for a Liga 1 star. And regardless of how he's done, we've seen what Liga 1 stars happen. You know, Nicolas Pepe comes to mind.
Number one.
But it's a different league.
Lacazette.
So anyways, we'll see. Like I said, as well as a good mention too. But Napoli might lose Koulibaly, and he's the rock of the team. So if they do lose him, I
Good
don't
point.
know how Napoli's gonna do.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right about that.
And like we've mentioned before, they've considered doing a rebuild.
So
Well,
we'll
'cause
see.
They're not in the best situation financially either.
Well, like Anthony mentioned a couple episodes ago that it was Koulibaly, Allen, and like two other players that are on the transfer list of getting rid of the team and starting from scratch.
I just really hope that if they do sell all those players and get that 200 mil price tag
Yeah.
that they want to achieve, that they reinvest it into potentially the potential youth stars and
Which I'm curious to see what
still
Gattuso's
make a
going to do.
push.
Well, he's one of them. That guy
Osimhen, Victor Osimhen, yeah.
He's 22 or whatever. 20.
Super young, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
2021.
it's a step in the right direction. And I think we can ask ourselves whether or not Serie A is going to go back to where they were in the past.
In
where
the
it
90s.
was in the-
Oh, it's looking like it.
where
Yeah.
all the teams were fucking solid, quality teams. Bro.
At least the top 6-7, you're gonna get something.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
this year we got a nice glimpse of it because
Yeah.
it's been a horse race almost similar to La Liga towards the end.
And that's what happened towards the end of the season after the restart. Is you saw like two juggernauts like Inter or Roma, for example, where they drew each other, but because they drew and they dropped points, Juve was able to get just clearer of the title. You know what I mean? So because these guys are fighting for these spots last minute, you end up helping Juve at the end of the day and getting clear of the title.
Anything else?
On Juve's end, nope. We can definitely move on to the next topic.
Well, I don't have. Well,
Unless you guys wanted to remind, before we leave Serie A, unless you guys wanted to remind the fans of the table, just let them know.
I have it in front of me.
The relegation battles.
I have, yeah.
If there is any relegation battles.
go for it, Tommy.
Well, right now, Spal has 19, which they're done.
They're done, okay.
Brescia have 24 points. Lecce have 29. And just clear of relegation is Genoa with 33 and Udinese with 36.
Yeah, but there's still games left to play, right?
There's still 4 games left.
Okay, so then we'll get back. You know what? We'll come back to the relegation battles later on after
Yeah.
maybe 2 games.
For sure.
And but I also wanted to add on, not add on, but go on discuss as well is Milan specifically because of how well they're doing. I think they should get recognized of how well they're doing since the restart.
I'm rooting for them to be in Europe next season.
Within their last 2 games, they scored 8 goals. Only let in 2. They beat Bologna and Parma is fucking tough to play against this year.
Zlatan effect. Zlatan effect.
Yeah, him 100%.
Because I've been watching the games. Even when he gets subbed off, he's standing on the touchline. He goes up to the touchline and yells at players.
I think Rebic is the one who mentioned it. Like Zlatan turned this team around.
Oh,
So
wow.
it is, bro.
He
It's a
put
Zlatan effect. I love it.
He's definitely a huge impact on that. But I think also Stefano Pioli should be recognized as well.
Yeah.
How he's managing his youngsters to a T with the help of Zlatan as well. Similar to what Ronaldo was doing in the Euros when he was
When he got injured.
he was standing next to Santos, whatever. And so it's he's getting the best out of his players, the fullest extent possible, and generating results as a result.
I love it.
I wanted to mention something just to say that the coach, he deserves praise, obviously, but I think he deserves even more praise on top of that because of the fact that they mentioned that they appointed a new coach for next season. Like
He's
while
not
he's
letting up,
still
yeah.
while he's still coaching.
Which I wanted to bring up later in a few points I want to
sad.
make. To add on to your point, so basically what I read is that now they're considering keeping Pioli
Okay.
as a manager and
Good.
making Rangnick as a technical director.
Interesting.
Whoa.
So I wanted
That's
to know
cool.
your
Oh,
thoughts
that's
about that
a
too.
crazy spin on that move. Wow.
I don't
dangerous.
blame him, bro. Since the restart, they've had 6 wins, 2 draws, 0 losses after 8 games.
And I think, I don't know if it was a professional or just a random fan that made a comment on Twitter saying that, like, as soon as Pioli gets friction with the team,
That's it.
They're gonna boot him out the door. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense because by the looks of it, how are you gonna toss a guy away after now he's finally got the grips on a team? They're into a system now.
They're all gelling.
They're all gelling together in sync. They're following his tactics, and they're finally now succeeding. And now you're gonna toss him out the door, and they're basically gonna
do him dirty like that.
Have to learn from a new manager, their new tactics. His probably has a new morale, different energy,
different system.
Different system. You're taking 3 steps back, and you're restarting from zero. So
and he's gonna get backing from Zlatan too. He's gonna mention
if they do this strategy, I think it's perfect. I know.
That's if that guy Ragnarok is okay with the technical director.
Maybe. I mean, if they'll have a conversation.
No, but it's like we mentioned before, countless times in the podcast, is that some managers just need time. Like, not all of them can just do it off the bat. You know what I mean? Like, depends on the team you go to as well. Some teams they can't hack it right away. Some players can hack the new system right away, and they need time.
That's it. Because even they've had a solid team. It's just they haven't really been able to develop into anything. You know what I mean? They're fluid right now. They're competent defending. They've always had solid Ds.
Yep.
Even with Ricardo, Lopez, and Rodriguez. Now they have Theo Hernandez who's killing it. Romagnoli, Kessié, and Benacer as their CDMs. By the way, whoever hasn't seen that Kessié goal.
Yeah.
And during I don't know if it was on the weekend or on midweek. I'm surprised there wasn't a hole in the net. Because bro had power, bro, like just full
flames coming out of it.
I'm sure his thighs are 3 of mine, dude, because he fucking blasted that. So that was my question to you guys. I mean, let's see what happens with that and with Ragnarok. I was about to say Ragnarok. Fucking
That's it, George.
By the way, I want to do a praise because I know you mentioned this team before, but Sassuolo in their last 16 games have only lost twice.
Wow.
I like them apples.
I'm just putting it out there that just showing you how bottom teams, not mid-table teams, are going to start pushing next season. So a team like Sassuolo coming out of nowhere could make a name for themselves. Atalanta before was what, a bottom table team, mid-table team. Now look at them.
And Sassuolo's playing AC Milan next, if I saw that correctly.
Okay, Sassuolo? I'm not too sure. I didn't check. Oh yeah, they are. Sorry, tomorrow. I wasn't.
Tune in, boys and girls.
Ironically enough, they're also they're like near Milan too in the north, so it's pretty ironic.
Sure. All right. Did you have anything else to add for Serie A before we move on to transfer talk?
Nope, we're all good.
All right. Okay, so you know what? We'll stick with Serie A just here. Antonio Conte, the head manager of Inter Milan, wants Chelsea's N'Golo Kante.
And he's going to get Chelsea's N'Golo Kante.
There's no chance.
Why?
No.
Because he's Conte.
But wouldn't you hold on? Wouldn't you agree as a Chelsea fan that it might be time to just part ways with him because no? But hold on a second. Let me just get my point across. You get all kinds of money for him that you've spent a lot of on 3 attacking options right now. Havertz is obviously one of them. We're going to get to that soon. But my point is that Lampard found a way to make the midfield work without him
because he had no choice because he was injured for most of the season.
Okay. I didn't know he was injured for that long.
For me, getting rid of Kante is a stupid move in Chelsea's view.
Okay.
They got him for a good deal considering the player that he was.
Right.
With Leicester, with that fucking crazy
magical season.
That crazy story fucking book
miracle
fucking
season.
miracle season.
Which he was 80 to 85% responsible
of
for.
that team.
Right.
There was like this crazy stat, I forget what it was, but like it was interceptions and tackles. He had like this crazy stat, like just him himself was like as much as one season for like
guaranteed.
To me, he's irreplaceable. I just know who you replace him with.
Exactly. That's exactly why I say like don't even look at the money at this point.
Player itself.
He's not even he's very humble as a player. This doesn't have high wage demands either.
And that's the biggest work.
He's saying demands. Like, he's very comfortable where he's at right now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a player like him in soccer.
If he needs to renew, he's going to say, give me the same type of numbers.
And he's going to be happy just playing soccer.
Exactly. So, not only on the pitch, but in the locker room as well, I think it's a stupid move if you get rid of him.
I don't think they will. And I know you're saying that they spent a lot of money on like the newer players that they acquired. But you have to remember that they didn't spend any money because of the transfer ban that we had.
Right. So they saved all kinds, and they have
they've
money to
made
spend.
sales, I think, too, like players here and there.
I was just trying to find some sort of
I know,
reason as to why they would give him to Inter.
I get it. Another thing, I completely forgot, but who gives a fuck?
About what? Chelsea?
It's about Chelsea and Kante. Oh, okay. So before coming into the season, if you ask me, he's the best player in the team.
Okay.
So I wouldn't give up the best player. Considering now that they've made new acquisitions, it's like...
Now, would you think Kante would want to go to Italy, explore that option, a different league,
be with his boy
different
Conte?
system?
That's the thing is, did he really love playing for Antonio Conte? Maybe he did. Maybe that's why there's new...
That's why I'm rooting for Conte to pick him up. Because if he really did like him and Conte's coming out and calling for him...
He's playing that system where he used to play before with Conte and it worked. So, I don't know.
Yeah, and they were very successful with him.
Look what happened with Moses. Wanted Moses. Moses like, okay, I'm going back to Conte.
And Golo didn't have to leave Leicester when he did, eh? And it's because he won the league with them. He did what he had to do. He went to Chelsea. He won the league with Chelsea. Maybe he's just looking for a more challenge. Maybe he's looking for something else.
It's tough to say because we don't know what he's really feeling. We don't know what he's really thinking. All we know is that he's just this happy
this
French player
guy,
who just loves to play.
Yeah.
You've never heard anything negative. He's always smiling, whether they lose, win, or draw. Listen, he's been with Chelsea for 4 years now. I think he's happy. He's had success with the team, and now that they're in their rebuilding stage, and there's for sure no chance that he's not going to get kicked off the team. He's starting every game.
But what's the situation with his injury? Do you know?
I can't remember. I think it was a thigh injury that's been coming and going throughout the whole season, and it's just affected him this year. We haven't gotten the best of him, but when he's on,
he's on.
He's on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it.
He might be down to be part of this chapter with them to restart rebuilding with
the new guys coming in too.
New guys,
He's older too, huh? He's not as young as people think he is. I believe he's in his 30s.
I don't know if that's
I don't think so.
Don't quote me. I think he's 30.
29.
I was close.
Okay, you were pretty close. I didn't think he was that. He was in
There's
his
a couple
20s.
of good years ahead of him.
You know? And especially the role that he plays and the position that he plays, it's a lot of, or the style that he plays, it's a lot of energy and a lot of running around.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's not good, but eventually you have to change the way you play as you get older because you can't play like that for the rest of your career, let's just say.
That's fair to say.
Yeah. Okay. Like we said before, Napoli to cut out Koulibaly. You think it's going to happen?
Yeah,
well, they just cut his cost as per the article that I read through the Score.
70
Originally, I think before the pandemic,
they
they were
least
looking
100
100 to 150 or something wild, something crazy. But they've cut the cost now to 70 to 80 million, so that's a little more affordable for some teams. And if City are looking at him, I'm sure they can afford it. And if we don't have to go through stupid FFP, I don't know, we got to be careful with this shit now more than ever.
Yeah, the scopes are on Man City.
No, but that's exactly what it is. So we need to make sure we don't do anything stupid. So I hope we get him. I think that he'd be the answer for our back four problems. And yeah.
According to The Sun, his price tag now is 65 million.
This is Koulibaly?
Yeah.
Pounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so 80 million euros.
Yeah, because right now it looks like Man United want to get him.
Man United want to get Sancho. They want to get Koulibaly. They wanted to get.
I'm just saying a name that I'm just saying a team that was put out there.
Sure.
Once they heard how low his price tag went, because before COVID we were saying over 100, easily over 100.
It's funny for them specifically because they just bought Maguire for 80.
Yeah, bro. Forget about Maguire.
Solid.
So sticking to Man,
you all know our thing about Maguire. So
in terms of Milan, I was about to say Napoli. It's a good strategy for them. Get as much money as they can, especially how many people want to go after Koulibaly.
there's a lot of high bidders, yeah.
Exactly. You create a nice little bidding war. Even though that the price they set is 80 million euros, they could get potentially a bit more.
Right.
So I would take advantage of that, and especially the financial state they're in.
and there's also a big name center back
no
that's
choice.
out there that's available who looks like he's gonna leave is Upamecano from RB Leipzig,
Okay.
which is the same style as Koulibaly. Who's gonna be a bit less than Koulibaly also. That's a big name also out there to go get.
Yeah, for a center back.
Who's been proven, who really played a big part in RB Leipzig's season this season? season. I said season twice back to back, but yeah, he's a big name out there also for teams that need center backs. Like let's say Man City, if they don't get Koulibaly, that'd be another name to go out and look.
So another name that came up for Man City, and it's more likely to happen, is Nathan Ake, who is the center back and captain of Bournemouth, like we said. I don't know if it's his first or second season with Bournemouth, because I know
he's been there for more than that. I think he's been there for maybe 3-4 seasons, I would say. Because Bournemouth have been in the PL for a couple of years now.
I think 2.
2 seasons?
Max 3.
Okay.
Because he came from Chelsea.
Okay.
That's why...
That's what you remember?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
And I remember saying, why are we getting rid of this guy, kind of thing.
Okay.
And they didn't even have like a buyback clause or whatever.
He was on loan 2016, 2017, and from 2017 to 2020, he's been with them.
So 3 seasons. Okay.
Okay, give or take. So yeah, that's looking like it's gonna happen, considering that City want to change.
We need the depth, because apparently the depth that we have now is just not working. So we need to fix our Stones problem. We need to fix our Otamendi problem, and Fernandinho needs to stop playing there. Needs to go back to being a backup as a CDM. But even him too, there's rumors that he might leave. I don't know what's happening with I don't know what's happening there. Honestly, it's very tight to the chest.
Ake is a more realistic option.
Yeah.
Just for price wise and everything. So I think they might go.
Price wise, experience too.
35 million is a nice
Oh,
price.
35.
35.
That's a nice price for him.
And he has like a couple of years in the PL. He knows the league
And he captained
well.
the squad for those 3 years. So
that
for
too.
me, that tells me that.
And he's 4 years younger than Koulibaly.
No, he's super young. He's
25.
25.
I see Ake like a what do you call it? A Van Dijk effect, coming from a lower EPL team, who's been their backbone of the whole team,
They're both Dutch.
and both Dutch, going now to a big squad like Van Dijk went to Liverpool. Now if he goes to Man City, maybe we see another Van Dijk on the horizon.
It depends for City's stance. It depends on if they need to get someone else after Ake, depending on what happens with their other center backs.
Don't they have Garcia too, playing center back?
Yeah, but he's not going to stay though. They're going to loan him out. He's too young. He's even now you see him making a bit of mistakes.
You don't think they would rely on him as
no chance
as a depth option?
As a depth option,
come off the bench here and there.
Like I said, it depends on what the situation is with John Stones and Otamendi if they stay, because they're your options for backup. Because Garcia, I've watched him these last couple of games, and obviously there's potential. You see it, but he has made a lot of mistakes, so he's not quite ready yet, which is why they're looking at so many other center back options in the market.
I think they're done with Otamendi and
I agree.
and Stones.
And I'm done with them too as a fan. So,
but you get money for them, and
that's it.
Try to make moves for either Upamecano or Koulibaly.
Whatever.
Personally, I would also go for Upamecano because he's so young, and I was saying it a little while back, man. This guy, he's gonna be big, man.
I agree with you. I don't think we necessarily need to spend 80 million to get Koulibaly. I think we maybe spend 30 for 2 great center backs like Ake and Upamecano, if we can actually get Upamecano for less than 40.
And you can get a good rotation going.
And just that competition too. If they're fighting for that spot, you're going to get the best out of both.
If Laporte gets injured, you can play both.
But that's the point, is that why spend the 80 when you could spend 60 for 2?
No, I agree with you 100%.
And 80 in this market particularly is a lot of money. A lot.
So I wanted to mention the thing that I just remembered since we're talking about Man City. Interestingly enough, this is going to be, if Pep Guardiola stays, this is going to be the longest club he's served.
He's staying
as a manager.
And you've heard it from me. He's staying 100%.
No, but
he said it.
But it's going to be the longest club he's served for.
He even laughed off the rumors that we had brought up last time about the club going to League 2 or to Championship, and he laughed off those rumors too. And he said that if somehow that happened, he would have stayed with the club. If that is actually true, I don't know. I'd like to believe that's true, and that he really loves the club. He seems happy though. And he seems like he's committed to City and to getting back to winning the league.
Imagine he's looking at Barcelona, and like you said before about Messi, how he has 2-3 seasons left. Imagine Pep finishes off Messi's career, try to win Champions League, try to win the league.
He has too much respect for the Man City administration, the owner, the Sikhs. Way too much respect for them.
Because don't forget, they the whole project was built around him.
Exactly.
You know, and they put a lot of trust. They put all the money.
Yep.
They gave
Full
all
control.
the cards,
Full
all
control.
the chips
Exactly.
to him.
Yeah.
And look what he's done to City.
Yep.
You know, City was nothing. Sorry.
No, they weren't. You're right.
Wow.
I mean,
before Pep, the project new Man City had started like 5-6 years before Pep. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
That extra step to say we're a top club in the world, not just in England.
in exactly. Yeah.
So,
But they yet have to prove that.
Prove
well,
what?
that
In the world.
In the world.
Winning a Champions League.
Okay.
Or
Well,
in
they-
Europe, let's just
No,
say.
Europe, in all of Europe.
they got to the semifinals. What was it? Two seasons
Barca,
ago,
no?
and they was it?
I think it was against Barca.
Oh, that was maybe before Pep's time then.
No,
I
Pep
can't
was
remember.
Pep. It was. I remember because I think we tied you guys like I think it was like 2-2 or something, and then I think you guys beat us in the second leg or something.
I can't remember. Anyways,
I can't
whatever.
remember either.
I do remember facing Barca and losing, but late in the Champions League.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Moving on to next transfer, Kai Havertz.
I told you guys. I strongly believe that he was Chelsea were gonna make a move for him. I really, as a Barca fan, wanted something like him, but I think his price tag was a bit too high, and it just makes sense with the other two players that you got in Ziyech and
Warner.
Timo.
Yeah.
We're not even in August, and these guys have won the transfer market already.
So I think
Hands down.
if memory serves me right, Fabrizio Romano said that the personal terms
Have been agreed.
have been agreed, and now it's just up to the financial stuff between the two clubs.
Yeah.
I heard that Peter Cech
Almost a done deal, man.
is flying to Germany this weekend.
Is check.
Cech is
Hey, is he your technical director?
yeah.
Oh shit!
I don't know if I don't know
Is he wearing his hat while doing the direct?
in manager mode in
His
FIFA
fucking
20 he
bathing
is,
cap.
yeah.
His fucking bathing cap every game.
Oh man. I don't know if he's technical director, but I want to say he's doing some sort of administrative work.
Okay, so he's in charge of the transfers somehow. Basically.
Someone check it up. Don't
He's
mark.
a technical director, I'm pretty sure.
I'm almost certain. I just don't want to
Yep.
give false
Yeah.
information. But yeah, he's on his way to Germany, I guess, to speak and see how much they're gonna get him for. They're looking at 80 million.
Yeah.
Hefty price, but
It might be needed.
It's a fair price. Transfer market evaluates him at 90 million euros. So
and you know what? I
It's a
think
fair
they might
price.
even they might even get away with even less because for some reason they've had this pulling power for some reason Chelsea recently with getting Werner for like what 65.
No, but that wasn't pulling power. That was
Not
just
pulling
that
power,
was
but
release
like-
clause basically.
But they've been doing well in the transfer market.
That's fair.
Which is what I'm trying to say.
he's a technical and performance advisor for Chelsea.
Ah, there you go.
There you go, bro.
Okay.
So it's good to see a legend like him back at Chelsea because he was with Arsenal.
Yep.
And he's back at Chelsea, you know, working with Frank Lampard too. It's like really cool to see considering that like I said, he's a legend. And all these players that like put Chelsea on the map are still working for Chelsea.
Yep.
So it's really cool to see. And I'm super if the deal goes through, which I'm pretty sure it will. Chelsea are looking fucking deadly next year.
Absolutely.
They just got to fix the back line.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I need after. It's a nice. I love seeing these like reboots and like the like rejuvenation of teams like this. You know, he's gonna fit right into their new chapter with Ziyech and Werner already and Abraham,
Pulisic killing it.
It's
too.
because people forgot about Chelsea and their transfer power, and I think Abramovich just looked at everyone and he said, "Wait until
He was
this gets
laughing.
lifted." He was laughing. I really believe that now
You think so?
because
yeah.
now that it was lifted, he got 3 incredible players, and obviously if he gets Havertz, he's going to be one of them.
But also, it's like it's the thing with Chelsea too. Like in the past, we've made a lot of stupid fucking transfers. Like we bought a lot of stupid players that not stupid players, but like
just
absurd
didn't work
amounts
out. Yeah.
absurd amounts of money that were thrown away. Considering that we have a pretty good youth academy, and you send like 40 players on loan.
The one that comes to mind right off the bat was recently. It was Danny Drinkwater, and I think you guys spent like 40 for him, and it just didn't work
Just
out
off
at
the
all.
name.
Okay, I can just name you from the top of my head. Okay, Danny Drinkwater, that freaking Brazilian Pato. He played for Chelsea, bro. I don't know how much they paid for him, but they paid.
Right.
Quadrado played for Chelsea. Falcao played for Chelsea.
Yeah.
But Morata
got
is
the
just
money back.
they got the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the money back. You see, so now they're starting to be smart with their money.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know what I mean? Whereas before they just had this Russian billionaire and they're like, you want this guy? No problem. You want this guy? No problem. 100 mil for you. 100 mil for you. You know, like.
yeah.
So it's good to see.
I just think that if they're gonna focus on their defense next, they need to do it quickly, in my opinion, because other teams are looking at defense as well
Yeah.
to improve their defenses.
Yeah.
And if they start grabbing all the top guys from the market, Chelsea won't have anyone to pick from.
That's
So-
what I was gonna ask
Yeah.
you. Who would you go after personally? Would you go after Koulibaly or a younger guy like Upamecano who has loads of potential, or even Umtiti who's on the transfer market and who has experience, just
He has a World Cup too.
injury?
He's played with Kante.
For me, Umtiti, when he was on the pitch, absolute monster, one of the best in the world, but just unfortunately because of his injuries there.
I don't know. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do.
Still young.
I would.
He's still young also, Umtiti.
Oh yeah, he's like 26, 27, no?
Yeah, he's not old at all.
But he's a lemon, right? And I don't know if you guys can afford
Now,
that.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I
Who
don't.
would you go for, Koulibaly or Upamecano right now?
You can even go back and get Ake, technically.
I would
Yeah,
go.
he's still he's not.
It's
locked
not.
in,
Yeah, he's not locked in with
for,
City.
for City.
I mean, it's close, but it's not locked
Who are you
in.
going for, the younger guy or the guy with the
give me
experience?
give me the Flying Dutchman. Give me Nathan Ake. He came from us. I mean,
He's familiar with the administration. and
I guess he's familiar
With the league.
with the league too.
My take on Chelsea's back four is I would go for Koulibaly instead. I'd go for the vet because I feel like you're lacking a bit that strong-minded defenseman. Whereas Rudiger, he could have been that guy for you, but he makes a lot of mistakes as well.
We've seen some moments where he has been that guy. Kurt Zuma too.
But Zuma's more on the younger side, right? Are you actually going to put him next to another young guy, or do you want him next to someone who's really going to command that back line?
Well,
That's how I see it. I see that. I think they need Koulibaly more than they need the other guys.
Like a John Terry figure, basically.
yeah,
to run the back four.
yeah, someone to run the back four. Yeah, I agree with it 100%. You know, but if we got a young guy, it wouldn't hurt us because Frank Lampard does believe in the youth.
Yeah.
So
And he's proven that he can really get the best out of the young talent for sure.
So
So I think it's a win-win regardless.
yeah, it's a win-win. It's just time will tell. Like you said, the market is just barely open.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's it. So Leicester City are not selling Ben Chilwell. Speaking of defenders, and Chelsea have been looking at
Left
Ben
backs
Chilwell.
as
That
well.
sucks for you guys.
I wouldn't pay 80 million.
I-
for him.
No, me neither. But
I would. That's why I'm actually
it removes
happy.
an option from the table.
I'm really happy that Rodgers came out and said that he wasn't for sale because I really wouldn't have been happy if City went out and splashed 80 on him. He, to me personally, hasn't really proven that he's worth that at all, not even close.
Or what about Adama Traore
Oh boy,
reporting-
we saw that too today. Yeah,
reporting for 135 million, which is like absurd.
it is absurd.
Because not even the best players in the PL are worth that much.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's just a stupid price that they put out there so that nobody picks them up.
like before COVID, you could have looked at it and said, "Fuck, maybe there's
Not
something."
even.
But not even. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you because I feel like he's a bit. The word I'm looking for is not overrated, but it's overpriced by other people, by soccer fans in a sense, where his stats aren't that crazy in terms of what he provides in production. It's more about just what he creates and the chances that he creates. That's what you're paying for.
Yeah.
It's the chance that he's creating.
To me, he is the typical PL player. Strong, fast, aggressive,
Crosser.
Just completely just bombing
Yeah.
down bombing down the flanks.
But I feel like that
Not
wouldn't.
as technically gifted as other players that we
Yeah.
see who've played that position, like whatever, Sadio Mane, Salah, Sterling,
Willian.
or like I'm just naming off the
Yeah.
human song or whatever,
Yeah.
off the top of my head. It's a different type of winger that he is, but it's like
But there's a lot of cons that come with him too. He's not a great finisher whatsoever, and I've seen him miss like.
I don't know. He's
easily.
done it twice against Man City, no?
Yeah, but that's no. I know. Trust me.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, I get it.
I was waiting for someone to say that. Trust me. But I have seen a lot of games of Wolves this year, and I've watched him play. And if you guys could even go look at the highlights, because he has missed literally
Sitters?
golden sitters,
Oh, yeah.
and he's just skyrocketed them. So
Too fast, too hard.
and even those legs, that steel that he has, it's just like that's maybe why. It's just that's the thing. I don't know. For me personally,
So,
By the way, without even me knowing that I just checked this, that Arteta and Lampard both went out and reached about Upamecano, and his price tag's at 50 million.
okay.
ooh.
So
Without me even checking, I knew for a fact he's on everyone's radar, and the fact that Arteta and Lampard both want to go get him, and it's only 50 million.
I wouldn't even hesitate for 50 mil.
Apparently, Lampard is more the front runner because they just got Warner.
Well,
And Warner Upamecano are like they were good friends in Leipzig.
Chelsea have the money too. Arsenal don't have the same money as
So don't
Chelsea.
be surprised if you see Upamecano in Chelsea
I
next
mean,
season.
I wouldn't.
At this point, I wouldn't be
I wouldn't be
surprised either.
I
And he's
wouldn't be
21.
disappointed. I
He's
would not
21
be
years old.
disappointed at all.
Yeah. Well, they might if they win FA Cup, they might have the funds too there from there. But yeah.
Which, by the way,
You don't get a lot for FA Cup though. I think
bah,
as per
I
FIFA.
think it's 2 mil.
Yeah.
Not even.
Which is sad.
it's like
To them, that's
it's like 3 months of somebody's wage. I don't know. Like,
no, exactly.
You know, whatever. Here's like it's more on the Chelsea side again. I know, but they've been pretty active in the transfer market. So remember last week we were saying that David Boyes wanted
Barkley and Lingard.
Barkley and Lingard. So there's rumors that they would give Michi, Barkley, and Tomori on loan for Declan Rice.
That's too much. You're hitting your depth at that
That's
point.
depth.
It's wait 3 for 1. It's like a
But think of it now. We have Werner and Tammy. Michi hasn't been seeing, and fucking Giroud. How can I forget?
Michi makes sense. I don't like the Tomori giveaway. I think Tomori needs a little more time with Chelsea, and he could be a nice backup if someone gets injured. If he, don't forget if you guys stay or somehow get third, you're going to be included in a lot of cups.
A lot of
contentions.
competition, yeah.
A lot of competition. So there's going to be FA, there's going to be Carabao, there's going to be
Champions
Champions League, Premier League.
But it's
just
kind of
all
like
kinds
what-
of rotation.
It's kind of like what we're in right now. We're in all of those competitions. Well,
But it didn't work out for you, right? In some of them. So
Well, that's because our defense has been shaky too, you know. But whatever.
but that's what I'm saying is to have those other options to use.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Do you want to say something? That's all I got for transfer news. Did anybody want to add anything else? Tonio,
I'm good.
you took a piss break.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Almost as bad as the new City Gas time. Anyways, about to explode.
All right, good to know. All right, so I guess we are done here, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys and spread the knowledge of football.
See you.
Thank you very
Ciao,
much.
guys.
30 goals.
Thank you very much. And see you next time.